I am here today with our resident salon owner expert, Sarah Perrin. Sarah, thanks for joining me again today.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Today, we are going to get the scoop on membership programs in salons and spas. Memberships have a real distinct advantage when it comes to all things client retention loyalty, which we love to talk about at Salon S.O.S. We have a lot of expertise, a lot of tools and programs around it. But there's a lot of unique things that can be done with memberships programs for clients that can really sort of entice people to get signed up for packages and whatnot and keep them coming to your salon more frequently and also keep them, within your salon company for a longer period of time. So I want to delve into that today. And Sarah, maybe you can start us off just by sort of sharing, again, from a salon owner standpoint, why is it a good thing to potentially look at offering memberships in your salon company? And I don't mean your personal salon company, but, in general for all those salon owners out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so I feel like with memberships, we're starting to see them more and more across like different industries. Obviously, it's always been a big thing, like there's gym memberships and fitness types of things or whatever. But now you're starting to see it more across different industries. And I feel like it's such an easy thing to incorporate into salons and spas. Not only is it just like an enticing way to, maybe recruit some new clients and everything like that, but it's also just to get a good way to increase revenue for your salon and guarantee that income coming in. So it's just another guarantee that guest is going to be coming in for that service, similarly to even like a gift card kind of thing, right? So you're selling that, you're securing the sale, and then they're coming in for the service after. So I feel like it's just a really good way to, again, get some extra additional revenue coming in, and B, just securing appointments for your stylist as well.
You know what? That's some important points, obviously, to be thinking about. A couple of things to kind of keep in mind as you're sort of creating a salon membership program. Obviously, you need to make sure that it's simple and clear, right, to the actual customer or client what they're getting, because they're not necessarily common. This isn't something that tons of salons are doing. So you want to make sure that you're very crystal clear. And we're going to go through some examples in a minute here about what this can look like. Secondly, you want to make sure that your price is competitive, but also reasonable. You want to be giving people, when they're signing up for a membership, we think of, memberships as like a gym membership, maybe, right? Where you're paying a certain, amount for a monthly fee and you can go as often as you want. This is sort of where we're getting at, but that can make it difficult for a salon owner to sort of understand, well, how do I set a price if somebody, is maybe getting, unlimited access to a service, or, maybe it's giving you access to a percentage off stuff. So you really want to take some time to think about the price point, but it needs to be, quite attractive to get people in. And typically, if you think about gym memberships, people sign up for them, but don't end up using the service as much as they expect. But it's, bringing in that guaranteed revenue that Sarah just talked about. And finally, it's just important to make sure that you, do have the capacity to offer, the service, whatever it is that you are providing. So sometimes we kind of overlook that. And now you have this influx of people coming in for, let's say, unlimited blow dry packages. And if all of a sudden people are coming in a couple times a week, which you weren't expecting, that could be a problem. So you want to make sure that you actually have the staff and the capacity to supply, whatever service you are offering as part of your memberships. But
I think that's a super good point, Scott, too, is just like remembering that this isn't just like a monthly promo that you're running. Like, you don't want to just like put something together. Like, you want to make sure that do it strategically. Maybe you've got, a couple of associate styles who are building their books and working on their blowouts. Then that's a really good way to offer these, blowout memberships and everything like that, right? You're not going to offer. Yeah, the only thing I can think of right now is like, I'm the only one at my salon right now that does pedicures. I'm not going to do a pedicure membership. My books are full. I'm not going to be promoting something that I personally cannot, accommodate, right? So just putting a lot of extra thought into planning these out. And then one other thing I just wanted to say too, because a lot of membership platforms, like if you're looking at like the gym and everything, it's like, okay, you pay X amount and you get unlimited access. With salon things, especially because you are going to have like a service provider involved, you might want to think about, again, like capping it off, like you get X amount of blowouts per week or X amount of blowouts per month. Like just again, like you said, Scott, making it super crystal clear and zero room for interpretation. Like it's like, this is what the deal is and this is how it's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's actually get into a few sort of specific examples, Sarah, that either you've done in your own salon company or that you would recommend, that salons look at. Again, don't take these as is and just be like, oh, I'm just going to implement exactly what Sarah and Scott say. You want to tailor it to your specific salon situation and some of the things that you might want to be, promoting based on your staff, your capacity, availability, all that stuff. But Sarah, why don't you sort of share with us some actual types of salon memberships that exist out there?
For sure. So I think with salon memberships, again, like you're wanting to like focus mostly on services that are not, like, for example, I'm an esthetician and people are coming for lash fills every 2 weeks, right? Like I'm not going to be starting up a membership being like, come this many times. There's no need for it, right? So you're looking more at things like your blowouts, your hot shaves, your facials, things like that, that can kind of be done more frequently or less frequently. And this kind of incentivizes people to be coming in and having it done more frequently. So something that I've seen a lot at different salons, well, just even in my location lately, has been blowout memberships. I feel like this is starting to become a bigger thing in smaller centers. Like this has always been a big thing in, Toronto, Vancouver, like these big centers where you have business ladies that are coming once a week. They don't wash their hair. Besides that, it's the wash and go kind of thing. They come in for their service. And I feel like we're starting to see that more in the kind of the mid-size and smaller centers now. So blowout memberships are a huge thing. And again, you can kind of customize it so people are coming in for, X amount weekly or X amount monthly, or maybe even quarterly. So you can kind of cut it up like that. So that's something that I've seen a lot lately. Another thing is like barbering and hot shave memberships. So again, maybe it's, book X amount of hair cleanups monthly and get one free hot shave. Like it might even be a matter of like adding on like an extra thing as opposed to discounting the entire service, if that makes sense. And then another thing that could be like an easy one to incorporate into your salon is like a root touch-up memberships. So often people are going way too long or not pre-booking their appointments or whatever it is. So this would just make it easier and again, you're probably going to want to look at something like quarterly or yearly for the root touch-ups, but getting X amount of root touch-ups in, a certain amount of time, and then getting, a specific discount, or perhaps it's a discount on some of their retail purchases, whatever it might be. Like you can really customize it. But yeah, really wanting to look at those services that sometimes people put off a little bit too long and trying to keep them, within that certain time frame.
Yeah, great ideas. You really want to be focusing on ultimately it's getting people into your salon doors more frequently, right, and spending more. So I love the idea of finding those services that are a little bit more typically shorter and providing this membership. Ultimately, think about if someone's going to buy a membership package, you want to make them feel special. You want to make it feel exclusive, right, that they're sort of becoming almost like a VIP member of this special program. So having those extra little perks and benefits that go along with it, I think can really kind of go a long way to kind of making it appealing for them. I love having, the added incentive. So beyond the actual service, let's say it's a blowout membership, right? That you get, X number of blowouts monthly, or even unlimited. I just actually had a meeting with a salon owner in Ottawa not too long ago. So this is very timely. It was just last week, and he'll be listening to this episode for sure. And I know that he'll know that I'm talking about him. And we were talking about his blowout membership program that he has going on, and it's an unlimited blowout packages, for X dollars per month. And at the same time, they get the member gets 20% off of retail as well. And so I like that little added incentive. that you're sort of throwing out. So it makes it look like the membership package itself is super valuable based on everything that you could benefit from. But the
Oh yeah.
reality is, right, the reality is that, people are not coming in every single day for a blowout, but it is getting more people to come into the salon. And this particular salon owner's feedback was, now they're coming in a little bit more frequently for their blowout, but people rarely come in just for a blowout, right? They also end up getting, another service, at that time, or maybe on their, third or fourth blowout visit. It's like, okay, now it's time for, a root touch up, or a toner on their color, or a bang trim, or whatever the case may be. But because you're seeing them more frequently in your salon, it allows you to develop that relationship, build it up further, have those conversations, which ultimately is strengthening their overall sort of loyalty and retention to your salon company as a whole.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You made a lot of really good points there. And I think even too, like again, with the added benefit of like, the discount on retail, you can also include, maybe there's exclusive events that only membership holders can have. Maybe there's specific like holiday promos or something like that, or gifts with purchase that they can receive. Like the sky is really the limit to how many things you can incorporate without having to necessarily discount. Like again, look at those added value type of things. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for what you can do with them.
Just little ways to make them feel special, make them see a lot of value, and recognizing that they might not take advantage of all of it, but they sign up for it because they see the potential, right? And that's what membership programs often, really do for you. And ultimately, I want to close here by just reminding you, Sarah, you brought it up sort of at the beginning, but it's just so critical from a financial standpoint, because you're collecting all this money up front, right? It's just the same as gift cards. As Sarah mentioned, you're collecting the money up front, but you have to sort of hang on to that money in a special account in order to pay the actual service providers, or pay, for the product usage when it actually happens, right? So someone's like prepaying for these future services, but if you're not careful and you don't hang on to that money, then you're not going to have the money in your account to actually pay the service providers and the products when the time comes. So really, really important to be financially responsible, to sort of make sure that you're taking care of that. Sarah, how do you guys manage it from an account standpoint?
Well, and I'm so happy that you included that, because I feel like often there's like these promo ideas, or again, memberships and stuff like that. And it's like, ooh, that sounds really cool, but you're not really looking at it from the financial standpoint and from like an actual like technical, like how is this going to look in the books and everything like that. So we treat memberships like we do gift cards. So we have like a separate account, that's where all of the money goes to or whatever. And then when the service is done, then we have that to pay out the staff. Because I feel like that's a huge mistake that a lot of people make, either with gift cards or memberships, is it's just like, ooh, an influx of cash. And it's like, well, no, that doesn't mean you just made a big sale. It's like, that's almost like, we're putting that aside as a little investment into these future things. So again, we can't tell you exactly, what your banking looks like or anything like that, but it's just super important to keep this in mind when you're selling them, and having a separate account for those funds instead of just, lumping it into regular income.
Yeah, but it's nice because you can have a bit of more security, financial security,
Yeah.
right, by already having the money in, and knowing that if this is like a monthly membership, right, that you already know that you're sort of expecting a certain monthly revenue stream coming in at the beginning of the month. So there's a little bit extra sort of financial security that kind of comes along with these packages if you really sort of build them up nicely. So I guess key learnings today, or messaging: if you haven't tried membership programs in your salon company, we definitely encourage you to consider it, right, as an opportunity for your salon company. And hopefully some of the information and ideas that we've presented here, might give you some insights, some motivation to try something, and worth exploring, certainly. And we would love for you to share with us, your results. And I'm sure there's tons of salons out there that have tried different membership programs other than the ideas that we presented. So if you have an idea of something that's worked really well for you, please reach out to us, share what that is, because we want to be able to kind of continue to share back to our community as always, and provide ideas of things that are tested, proven, with great success. So share that with us. All of our details for contact coming up in the outro. Thanks again, Sarah, for being here and sharing your valuable insights as a salon owner with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.